Ite cham sakala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indriyari Vyakulam Lokam Hridayante Yuge Yuge Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam Sukhamukha Amruta Drava Samyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavakaha. Okay. So please recite important verses every day before reading and before starting the day. Okay, so where are we standing now? We first started with Bhagavatam as something which rejects Kaitava Dharma. Okay, then we went on to understand many aspects of Bhagavatam. Now in the current section, we see that the rishis are assembled. They asked 6 questions to Sutta Goswami. We discussed 6 questions many times. By this time, all 6 questions must be pakka memorized in your heart. No excuse. If you don't memorize these 6 questions, then you will see many situations coming. For example, Parikshit Maharaj asking questions to Sukadev. You see Vidura asking questions to Uddhava. Vidura asking questions to Maitreya Rishi. Like that, many situations will come. You will not understand why these questions are being asked. Okay? So, please pay attention to those questions. So, 6 questions we understood, right? Now, so far we have completed answering the first 2 questions. And then we understood that devotion, bhakti, is the solution. Bhagavatam says, Savai pumsam paro dharmam yato bhakti radokshaje ahaitoki apratihata yayatmasu prasidati. Says this is the solution. Okay, good. Then, now we have discussed many slokas on how to come to platform of devotion. Before even performing devotion, you need to come to platform of devotion. How? For example, I want to study in a school. So first I have to get admission to school. I have to buy uniform, books, I have to write entrance exam, pay fees, so many things, right? So it is coming to school. If you don't do these things, you can't even come to school to learn, right? Like, so similarly, come to platform of devotion, right? So which is the most important sloka we read? Ataha pumbit dvijashreshta varnashrama vibhagashaha svanuttatasya dharmasya samsidir haritoshanam. So we read this sloka, right? So it tells that you have to come to platform of devotion. Now, after coming to platform of devotion, what do? Practice devotion, right? So up to sloka 22, we practiced all methods of slokas we learned to practice devotion. In this one context, what we learned? We learned the Navavidha Bhakti. So in this Navavidha Bhakti, we started with Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivati, Nishta. Then we learned Ruchi, then Asakti, then we learned Rati, then we learned Bhava, learned Prema, right? So we learned all these stages of devotion. Okay, so now platform of devotion is ready, stages of devotion are ready. Now the question, yes, Prabhu, everything is clear, but whom should this devotion be given to? Who's the object of recipient of our devotional practice, right? So that is what these next set of slokas are going to make us understand. Okay. So 2-23. Okay. So Sattvam Rajas Tama iti Prakritir Gunastair Yuktaha Parapurusha Eka Hihasya Date Sthiti Yadaya Hari Vrinchi Harate Samnyaha Sheyamsi Tatra Khala Sattvatanor Nirnam Suyu. So what does this sloka tells? This sloka tells, translation by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. The transcendental personal Godhead is indirectly associated with 3 modes of material nature. So now, Bhagavatam is going to teach us whom do we offer this devotion to, and it is going to give you vivid descriptions about that object of devotion. Okay? So first, in that portion, it is going to explain us these 3 gods, right? Traigunya avatar. which is called Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. Okay. So now there are a few important things about these three. Let us understand them in very clarity. Okay. Namely, passion, goodness, and ignorance. And just for the material world's creation, maintenance, and destruction, he accepts three qualitative forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Of these three, all human beings can derive benefit from Vishnu, the form of quality of goodness. Okay. So now what's happened? The living entities, they want to get liberated out of this material world, stop their miseries. So now some methods has to be devised, how they can get released. So what Lord does, Lord expands into Trigunya avatar, into forms of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and they take up each of these roles. These roles as generation, that is creation, then operation, that is maintenance, destruction. Whatever is created has to be destroyed. Right? It cannot go on without destruction. That is called exact recycle. So now, Lord expands into these three positions who will take in charge of these three activities. So now Lord teaches Brahmaji how to create. Unless you're in mode of passion, you cannot create. You have to keep on creating. Right? Different varieties of creating, different transactions of creation. So that's what Brahmaji takes the position. Okay. Now, creation is only a one-time activity. Like, for example, a mother giving birth to a child. Yeah, that one-time activity is giving birth to a child. That is only 9 months. But maintaining the child in this entity is like 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 90 years. Right? So you see, the duration span of maintenance also is very long. And plus, it will go through various ups and downs. So it's a very complicated effort, maintenance. Okay. Third is destruction. Destruction is only 1 minute job, right? Death. Or anything you want to destroy, put into fire. That's it, destroyed. So that's also a smaller or simpler job. So hence you see, Lord expands into Lord Shiva to do that job. If you want to destroy something, you cannot be in mode of goodness to destroy something. It's impossible. You have to be in mode of ignorance to destroy. Right? Only then those qualities of anger, those qualities of destructive mentality, they will manifest in our heart. Hence, Lord manifests or expands into Lord Shiva. Okay? So, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva are none other than Krishna who are expanding into these three positions. Okay? So, from this description, we can understand that Brahmaji is being working with the mode of passion. Otherwise, he can't create. Okay? Lord Vishnu has to maintain long duration, highly tolerant, and ensure steadiness. If these three things are there, not there, maintenance cannot be done successfully. So hence, Vishnu in the form of goodness manifest. Now, destruction, mode of ignorance, so Lord Shiva takes a position. That's it. Okay, now, what is the key here? Look at the one that I highlighted. Pure translators worship the form of goodness of Vishnu in various forms. Vishnu is manifested by his millions and billions of integrated forms and separated forms. The integrated forms are called Godhead. So that means what? One source, that is Krishna. From him comes many, many expansions. Okay? So since there are many, many unlimited expansions could be Jiva, could be separated forms, expanded forms, energies, so many expansions are there. So all of them, they become part and parcel of that Supreme Lord. Okay? So here, Bhagavatam says, both Jivas and Godhead have original spiritual forms, while all other are energies of the Lord. Okay? Now, such living being appears in the material world with intention to being Lords. So now the question is, hey, if we are part of the Lord, if we are similarly spiritual form of the Lord, then why am I in the material world? Because Krishna is called a supreme enjoyer, right? He is the ultimate source of every creation, and he is a supreme enjoyer. Now, if I say I am characteristically same like Krishna, that means I'm also going to have that quality of enjoyment in me. Okay? So enjoyment is not something new to us. It is not an artificial thing. And that is our nature. So the only problem between the enjoyment spoken in the spiritual life and the material life is very simple. We want to enjoy in separation of Krishna. We want to enjoy with the intention that we want to be the proprietor, because unless you are a master, you cannot enjoy, right? Servant doesn't enjoy, master enjoys. I want to be my own master. I want to be my own controller. Because we have that enjoying propensity, we enter this material world as Jivatma. Then what we understood, this enjoyment in separation of Krishna is dangerous. We should not do that. We always serve the Lord and enjoy with Him. And that is your realization. When you realize that, you worship Lord Vishnu. And He would come and take you, get you out of this place of this material world. And that is called mukti. Right? So, in this process, what we need to understand is that I am in this material world which is entrapped. Like, for example, I take a house and put you into one of the room and lock the door. Whatever you scream, whatever you do, I won't open. Right? Then what do? You do prayashchitta inside the room. Okay, I made this mistake, I'm sorry. Then Krishna is saying, okay, you did sorry once, but will you change your mind? Once I open the door, will you change your mind? Then you're saying, no, I'll prove that I will never change my mind. And that is the process of cleansing. And that's the process of devotion. So now, this material world, Bhagavatam says it's just jail. It's a prison house. Okay? Now, so Krishna, what does he do? He gives this opportunity to enjoy and gives opportunity to realize. Both he does. And that's why both are existing in this world. Right? And opportunity for enjoyment is not limited to just one. He is limiting it by giving you various birth opportunities, various situations, unlimited. He wants to give those varieties to you for you to choose between enjoyment and realization. So once you understand the difference between enjoyment and realization, then you are considered as a purified person. You're ready for liberation. Okay? So now, between Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, who can give you liberation? Only Vishnu. Why? Because Vishnu is in the mode of goodness. But Brahmaji and Shiva are not in the mode of goodness. They are aghast forms. Because they are aghast forms, they cannot offer you liberation. And any derivatives of such forms also cannot offer you liberation. Okay? So that's what this sloka is trying to explain to us. Okay. Now next go to the next sloka.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, one question. You said aghast forms. What does aghast forms mean?
Like Krishna see in the spiritual realm, Krishna shows the Virat Rupa. Virat Rupa, if you really see, it is massive, it is unlimited. It has got everything. It is so confusing. You will get bewildered. And you'll see, oh, what is this? I cannot realize this. See, for example, now we are within this earthly planet, which is beautifully covered with seasons, nice sky, green plantation, water, and all beautiful things. You just go to space. Just go see the outer space, how it is. It's really aghast. You'll get stunned. Right? So these are forms which we get stunned, not possible to digest. Right? So, for example, within the Hedevata community, right? Let's see, you see Vaishnava Devi. She's very beautiful, very fair. and very nice to see her. But you see Kali? Oh, I'm terrified to see her form. That is called aghast forms.
Okay, Prabhu. Understood.
Okay. So now let's go to the next sloka, 2.24. Parthiva dharno dhumas tasmad agnis trayimaya tamasastu rajastasmad sattvam yad brahma darshanam. Right? So this sloka is just basically telling that if you are in a mode of passion, okay, you will not be able to realize God. You will not be even able to do any self-realization because you're in the mode of I want this, I want that, I want this. Completely materialistic in his thought. And the finer aspects of passion means you may speak truth, you may be helpful to others, you may be a nice personality. Why? Because you're self-centered. How? Hey, I want to be a good person, to be called as a good person. I want others to honor me. See, you're not harmless, but you see you're still in passion because you're self-centered. Okay? So that will not give you any help for liberation. Okay? Ignorance. What is ignorance? Ignorance means lack of awareness of anything. It's called ignorance. Not knowing who you are, not understanding the difference between soul and the body, not understanding the conclusion of the scriptural injunction, not understanding what you're supposed to do in your day-to-day life. In English, they use a word called brash. Right? Brash means just get up, do something. No ideology, no knowledge. That's called brash. Now, when a person in this mode of ignorance, you see, he acquires improper habits. Improper habits are your drinking habits. Any habits that is against religiosity. He acquires such habits and he enjoys in those habits also. Now, what Bhagavata Dharma says that these personalities who are in mode of ignorance, they behave just like animals. Because if you go tell an animal, hey, come on, you don't understand moral science and moral values, it cannot understand. That's why it's an animal. When do you say, hey, you're a well-behaved personality? When do you say that? Will you say that to an animal? No, it's not possible because animal cannot know how to behave. So, when a human being who's awarded with that supreme intelligence, the common sense, he does not use that to go higher in his moral values and higher in religiosity and higher in understanding God, then he's considered to be an animalistic consciousness. And that is dictated by tamasic. Okay, are you able to understand? Okay, good. So now what we will do, we'll go to the next sloka. Previous sloka. Which analogy?
Translation. Firewood is a transformation of earth.
It's just to understand that. Okay. So, I mean, Gandharvika is just telling that firewood is a transformation of where the analogy is given. So this analogy is trying to tell what is superior. Is ignorance superior, passion superior, or goodness superior? It is just that analogy is given. Okay. So the conclusion is one should come to the platform of goodness first and should come to the platform of awareness of the Supreme, awareness of the environment. And that is when he can connect with the Supreme Lord. Okay? So that is the conclusion of this chapter, sloka 2.24. Now look at 2.25. In 2.25 that we're going to understand, okay, Prabhu, all these things are fine. That you're telling me that I should not be in ignorance, I should not be in passion, I should be in goodness, good. But how do I practice it? So hence, Bhagavata says, there are great role models in the society who descended for the purpose of the benefit of human beings. So what do? You see them, hear their message, follow them, and make your life perfect. And Bhagavatam starts with the 12 Mahajanas. By following them, you get these benefits, right? So read the 25. Bejire munayo atagre Bhagavantam adokshajam Sattvam vishuddham shemaya kalpante yenu taniha. Previously, all great sages rendered service unto Supreme Personality of Godhead due to his existence above the three modes of material nature. That means these great sages also transcended these three modes. They worshipped him because they want to become free from material conditions and get the maximum benefit. Whoever follows such great authorities is also eligible for liberation from material world. Right? So now we have to understand, I have a very favorable body, human body, which has got that special quality called as the common sense or the sixth intelligence. I should use them for a purpose that will give me the most valuable benefit. It is not the gold and diamonds. It is not the enjoyment. It is not the beauty. It is realizing my path back home. So how do I do that? So Lord created what is called as religion. So using a religion, the religion teaches us the purposes of one's life and how to connect back to that Supreme. So using those religious methods, one can attain perfection. Now the problem in Kali Yuga is, which is that bona fide religious method? There are thousands of religious methods. Which should I follow? And that is the contention that people get confused into. So hence, the need for preaching, the need for explaining these spiritual subjects to others are very, very important. Okay? So look at the highlight. The ultimate aim of religious performance is to release oneself from material bondage. What is material bondage? This Jivatma who want to enjoy for himself got entrapped with this body that we possess. The gross body and subtle body. The gross body is the thing that we see with our eyes, Panchabhuta, fire, ether, water, all those things. Then the subtle body is our mind, intelligence, false ego. So this Jivatma is entrapped with these 8 elements and is struggling to get out of this. So religiosity and religious principles, they tell a very systematic method. How do you release yourself out of this entrapment? So choosing one's right religiosity and right religious path is also the first goal of the human life. If you don't inquire the right questions, you may end up yourself in a wrong religious path, which may be Kaitava Dharma. Dharma prochita Kaitavo atra paramo, which is atra paramo. Right? So Bhagavatam says, the very purpose of the Srimad Bhagavatam is to reject Kaitava Dharma and propound the highest truth, which is religiosity, to understand one's relationship with the Supreme Creator. So Bhagavatam is not talking anything material. Okay? Is 2.25 clear? So 2.25 conclusion is, we do not know what is religiosity and how to practice it, hence follow the great personalities. So how do you follow great personalities? You hear their life history. You hear their preachings. You see their activities. And finally take their instruction and mold your life. If even after hearing all these things, we don't want to mold our life, continue to be animalistic in our thoughts and activities, then our destination continues to be in this material world. Why? Krishna says, you are yet to be reformed. You cannot enter the kingdom of God in mode of passion or ignorance. It is impossible. You will not get liberation with that consciousness. Liberation is possible only when you come to a platform of pure goodness, which can be only attained from the platform of goodness. Okay, so we move to 26 now. Sloka number 26. Here, Lord is telling, okay, I explained about Traigunya avatar, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. But what about Ihadevatas? So then now Lord is going to teach us who are these Ihadevatas and what does worship of them means. Okay. We've discussed a lot in Bhagavad Gita, so I'm not going to spend much time about Ihadevatas, but I'll give you a short description. 26. Mumukshavo Gora Rupam Hitva Bhuta Patinnata Narayana Kala Shanta Bhajanti Hi Anusuyavaha. Translation. Those who are serious about liberation, mukti, are certainly non-envious and they respect all. Yet they reject the horrible and ghastly forms of the demigods and worship only the all-blissful form of Lord Vishnu and his plenary portions. Okay, so there are two things that we have to understand. Krishna and his plenary portion. So what is a plenary portion? So for example, Krishna expanded into Balaram. And Balaram made quadruple expansion. Shankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva. That means 4 types of avatars he took. Okay? 4 types of forms, you can keep it like that for your simple understanding. Now, from this, Shankarshana, Lord again expanded into Leela avatars, into Purusha avatars, into many, many things that he expanded. Each to serve a different purpose. These are called Vishnu and his plenary portions. And all these expansion, where do they live? They live outside of this material world. They are not part of this material world. They live in the spiritual planets. Okay? Now, what is the nature of the spiritual planet? Here, all living entities, they are qualitatively, consciously supreme, like that personality of Godhead. They don't have any negative qualities of lust, enviness, and all other qualities of ignorance arising out of these. They don't have any of those. So that means people who have left this place and come to this material world, you can see that they possess these qualities of enviness, hatred, lust, enjoying mood, and all these things. As far as these qualities are not purified in this material world, in their one's consciousness, they cannot get out of this place and reach that spiritual world. Okay? So now, that's the first thing that you have to understand. Lord expands himself into 2 different categories, namely integrated plenary portion and separated part and parcel. Only 2 types of expansion. I explained the integrated plenary portion. Who? The Vishnu Tattvas, right? The Leela Purushas. All these different kinds of avatars are called integrated plenary portion. Okay. Who are called separated parts and parcel? The living entities, jivas, are called separated parcels, part and parcel. Right? So now you see a fruit in a tree. This fruit in a tree is growing and becoming bigger in size, produces that pulp, taste, fruit, and everything, as far as that fruit is attached to the tree. Okay? Now you see, whether that fruit is present or not, it doesn't affect the tree. Okay? So that means, even though it is attached to the tree, but it is a separated part of the tree. right? So this Jivatma, that is you, me, all living entities, we are called a separated part and parcel. Okay, so now when Mahavishnu, he creates this material world, he wants some people to take up certain roles of performing activities in this material world. Because this material world has to run, right? So for example, you go out and see, you see stars, you see various planets, they're all rotating, they're revolving, they're floating, change of seasons, currently rain comes, currently sun comes, currently wind comes, autumn comes. That means there's so much variety in this material world and they're constantly getting functioned. We can see this material world in two types. One, oh, all these things are creation is for my enjoyment. Two, which is in the mode of goodness or devotion. No, these are created not for my enjoyment, but use them in service of the Lord. Only these two types of consciousness possible. So people who think they're for my enjoyment, they continue to go on enjoying and they eternally live in this material world, Nitya Baddhas. People who use these material elements in service of God, they have understood religiosity and what do? They get liberated, go back home, back to Godhead. And such people are called the part and parcels, the Jivatmas. Some of these Jivatmas are engaged by the Lord to perform these various functions, right? So for example, you look at this, demigods like Brahma, Shiva, Surya, Ganesha, and many other deities are worshipped in the mode of passion and urged on the desire of material enjoyment. That means, you see, there are two types of gods, right? Like Kala Bhairava, Smashana Bhairava, Shani, Mahakali, Chandrika. So like this, you see, these demigods are also, ghastly in nature, right? You have to cut a goat and offer them to a sacrifice in order to be pleased. So that is in mode of ignorance. There are some gods like Brahma, Shiva, Surya, Ganesha, who are also in charge of running these material activities, but they're in mode of passion. Right? So you see, all these demigods are basically high-class workers, low-class workers in this material planet. So, Bhagavatam is trying to tell us, do not worship them as the goal of life. Yes, they are present. They will show you direction to the ultimate goal, but don't consider them as the goal of life. That means not considering like Shiva, Surya, Ganesha as the ultimation of one's life. Do not do that. Instead, take their mercy and reach the abode of Lord Vishnu. These people are called Pashandi because when someone doesn't realize the position of Vishnu but considers the Ihir Devata, demigods, as ultimate, they're called offenders of Vishnu. Why? Because Vishnu is the one deriving all the benefits here. He's taking all the benefits from Vishnu, but he is paying his respect and obeisances to Surya. Such a person is called Pasandi. So here the conclusion is two. First, real position of demigods are, they are separated part and parcel, they are Jivatmas, but they're taking roles to provide functions of this material world. That's a demigod. Do we worship them? No, we don't worship them. But do we respect them? Yes, we respect them. Because, again, they're agents of Vishnu. Right? Just like a messenger. Right? So, agents of Vishnu. So, they are not the goal of life, but they are means to the goal of life, who's Lord Vishnu. Okay? Does it clarify the position of demigods?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So now you may ask a question. Is Shiva a demigod? Is Brahma a demigod? Yes. People who are in mode of ignorance, they assume Lord Shiva as the supreme because he is the highest among all ignorant devatas. Okay? So they worship as highest. But what Shiva will do? When someone surrenders to Lord Shiva after many, many, many births, he will make him to go to Lord Vishnu. Because he sees him, oh, you're my very great, wonderful disciple. I think it's time that you go to higher classes of worship. So he sends him to Vishnu. Okay? Therefore, Vishnu and none else is called Muktipada, or personality God who can best do mukti or liberation. The other Ihadevata cannot offer you liberation. So what is intelligence? Why try all these indirect routes, long routes? Directly straight away go fall at the lotus feet of Vishnu. Okay. So now, who will worship demigods? That's the next sloka, 27. Rajas tamas prakritaya samashila bhajanti vai pitrubhuta prajeshridan Shri Aishwarya Prajepshavaha. Translation. Those who are in mode of passion and ignorance, and those in the same category, namely the forefathers, other living beings, and demigods who are in charge of cosmic activities, for they are urged by a desire to be materially benefited with women, wealth, power, and provision. Okay. Now, in this material world, what is the major issue that we have? We want to lord. That means we want to continue to master. We want to be in control. We want to be mini gods in this material world. That is our improper consciousness. That's why we are here. Let me repeat. We all want to be mini controllers and mini gods wherever we are. Okay, so how do we understand that? You see a businessman. He is in full control of his business, his customers, his employees, his money, all material opulence. You see, material opulence is also energies of the Lord. That means he wants to control. That means end state to understand, he is controlling. That is the consciousness he has. And he's enjoying out of it. Okay? There is no mood of servitude. There is no mood of servitude in what is he doing. Such person, what he will do, he'll go to a demigod again, asking for, hey, I want more power. Because power is so tasty that you want to enjoy more power. So he'll go to another demigod and say, give me that power. Give me beautiful wife. Give me very strong children. Give me all this opulence and the energy in this material world. He'll ask for more and more. That means, you see, for him to enjoy in this material world, one goes to an Ihadevata. So which Bhagavatam concludes that if one is in passion and ignorance, he goes to demigods to fulfill his desire. So Krishna says, Bhagavad Gita 7.20 and 23, Epi anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvita tepi mam eva kaunteya yajante avidhi purvakam. He says, yajante avidhi. Avidhi means improper fund of knowledge. Because he has improper fund of knowledge, he goes to Devatas. Why? He is temporary in this material world. Whatever he is desiring, power, opulence, position, rule, everything is also temporary, because by time I take them away. And these Devatas who's giving, they are also temporary, because after one manvantara, the demigods also lose their post, they come down. And Krishna says, this is avidhi purvakam. Okay? Now, Bhagavatam is concluding that, what is the goal of life? Is the goal of life to stay in this material world forever? No. The goal of life is to end the miseries of material world and return back home. If I assume that material world did not have any miseries, birth, death, old age, disease was not there, no one would go back. They'll say, I'm happy here. So hence miseries are introduced into this material world, where people lose taste of this material world. Okay? Krishna, while he was in Raj, when his father did worship of Indra Devata, what did he do? He stopped. No more demigod worship. Worship that great Govardhan, who's Vishnu himself, and go back home, back to Godhead. Right? So that's what he propounded, that knowledge. So now, All Ihadevatas are in mode of passion or ignorance. They cannot be worshipped. So we should worship only Lord Vishnu. And how do we worship Lord Vishnu? The understanding is very important. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. That means after many, many, many births of practicing in mode of goodness, through the mercy of the Mahajans, through the mercy of the great Acharyas, Lord awards that great mercy to that person. That translates into realization. What does he realize? Sa Mahatma, Vasudeva Sharvamiti, Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. He realizes that Vasudeva is everything, and then he comes to the platform of pure goodness, worship that Vasudeva Vishnu, and completes the journey of human life. And that is the sloka 28 and 29. Okay. Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramakaha, Vasudeva Parayoga, Vasudeva Parakriyaha, Vasudeve Param Jnanam, Vasudeve Param Tapaha, Vasudeva Paro Dharmo, Vasudeva Paragatihi. He says finally, Vasudeva Paragatihi. So Vasudeva Paraveda means, Para means, the word Para refers to something supreme, ultimate, top class. Right? So Veda, that means the Vedas is realization of Vasudeva as a supreme knowledge. Right? Like that, it gives you all the glorification. First is Veda, then Maka, then Yoga, Kriya, Jnana, Tapa, Dharma, and Gati. Gati refers to destination. So Bhagavata Dharma is concluding that one's highest destination is Vasudeva and nothing else. Right? So this is an important sloka. So Rani Mataji, please note the sloka for memorizing. So we'll just repeat this. Okay? We'll repeat the sloka now. Vasudeve Paraveda,
Vasudeva Paraveda,
Vasudeva Paramakaha,
Vasudeva Paramakaha,
Vasudeva Parayoga,
Vasudeva
Parayoga,
Vasudeva Parakriyaha,
Vasudeva
Parakriyaha,
Vasudeve Parajnanam,
Vasudeve Paragnanam,
Vasudeva Param Tapaha,
Vasudeva Parantapaha,
Vasudeva Paro Dharmo,
Vasudeva Parodharmo,
Vasudeva Paragatihi.
Vasudeva Paragatihi.
So ultimate realization is given by Vedas. So hence Paraveda. Makaha is sacrifice. So all sacrifices must be for the pleasure of Vishnu. So the purpose of sacrifice is to realize him. So Paramakaha. Para Yoga. Para Yoga is realization through meditative methods in his heart. So that is Para Yoga. Para Kriya. Kriya is activities. So whatever activities we perform should be offered for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. Vasudeva Para Jnanam. Jnanam is supreme knowledge. Everything that I learn should be focused to learn that supreme Vasudeva. If you don't learn that, that knowledge is useless knowledge. Okay. Then Vasudeva Parantapaha. Tapaha means all austerity that you take. Right. So all austerity that you take must be to understand Vasudeva. Okay. Then Vasudeva Paro Dharma. That means the highest purpose of religiosity is Paro Dharma. That is Vasudeva. Then the goal of life, Paragatihi, is goal of life. So if we understand all these things, then Vasudeva becomes goal of life. Hence, you will understand the real meaning of the sloka, Bahunam Janmanam Ante. Right? So now we fully understood about the position, the purpose of the Trigunya avatar, the object of realization, that is Krishna. Then we understood the position of Ihadevatas. Are they in mode of ignorance, passion, etc. Then we understood finally that Vasudeva, who is in mode of goodness, what is he? So we understood that completely. Okay. So now what shall we do is we'll go to the next sloka. Yes. Okay. So now we'll go to 2.30. Now in 2.30, what are we going to learn? We're going to learn the answer to that question. which is called the fourth question. So what is the fourth question? Who can answer the fourth question?
Fourth question, Prabhu. Yes.
What's the
Speak
fourth
to
question?
us, eager to hear about the adventures he performs in his various incarnations.
That is Purusha avatars. Correct? So now we are going to learn what is the Purusha avatar. That is question 4. Answer to question 4 in this sloka 2.30. Okay. Sa evadam sasarjagre Bhagavan Atma Mayaya Sat Asad Rupaya Chasau Gunamaya Guno Vibhuhu. Translation. In the beginning of material creation, that absolute personality of Godhead Vasudeva, in his transcendental portion, created the energies of cause and effect by his own energy, own internal energy. Okay. So sloka 30, 31, 32 will tell us the 3 aspects of Purusha avatars. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll learn the sloka of 31, 32, and then we'll understand the entire meaning in totality. Okay. 231. Taya vilashiteshva eshu guneshu gunavaniva anta pravishta abhati vijnanena vichrumbitaha. After creating the material substance, the Lord Vasudeva expands himself and enters into it. And although he is within the material modes of nature and appears to be one of the created beings, he is always fully enlightened in his transcendental position. Okay? Next sloka, 32. Yatahi avahito vanir dareshva eka swayonishu naneva bhati vishvatma bhuteshu cha tatapuman. The Lord as super soul pervades in all things, just as fire permeates wood, and so he appears to be of many varieties, though he is the absolute one without a second. Okay, 33. Asau gunamayir bhavair bhuta sukshmendriyatma bihi swa nirmiteshu nirvisto bhunkte bhutesu tadguna. Translation. The super soul enters into the body of created beings who are influenced by the modes of material nature and causes them to enjoy the effects of these 3 modes of subtle mind. Okay. So you see these 4 slokas, 30, 31, 32, 33. They talk about this Purusha avatars. Okay. So we have discussed Purusha avatars in many places. So I will not go very, very detailed in description, but I will try to explain so that it's a refresher for us. Okay. Krishna, Swayam Bhagavan, he expands into Balaram, Adishesh. Okay, that's the first expansion. Adishesh does quadruple expansion, and this quadruple expansion again has Shankarshana, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. This Sankarshana, which is called as the first quadruple Sankarshana expansion, maybe what I'll do is in the next class, I'll draw diagrams and I will show you about this expansion so you'll understand more better. I didn't get time to draw diagrams, or I'll find maybe some diagrams will be there. Okay. So this Shankarshana expands into Narayana. Narayana expands into, of course, there's second Shankarshana, but he expands into Mahavishnu. Okay. Now, this Mahavishnu is the cause of Purusha avatars, or Narayana is the cause of Purusha avatars. So, this Mahavishnu, what does he do? He is in this casual ocean, which is called Karno Dakshayi Vishnu. Right? You might have seen a picture. Let me see if I can find a picture of Karno Dakshayi Vishnu. Okay, so I'll show you the screen. See the screen? Here's Karno Dakshayi Vishnu. Can you see the screen? Yep. On the left hand side, where am I moving the mouse?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, there's another picture which is more appropriate. This is more appropriate. Yeah. Can you see this picture? Yeah. See this picture? Radha and Krishna in this material world is Karno Dakshayi Vishnu. He is not sleeping on This is called causal ocean or Karnodakshaya. Karna ocean. Okay. So this is called Karnodakshaya Vishnu. Okay, now you can see. Okay, now, anyway, good. This picture has got many. Okay. This is called Karnodakshaya Vishnu. Now, from Karnodakshaya Vishnu, you see this Vishnu, there are a lot of balls around him, right? Each of these called Anda. You can see this picture, you see? This Karnodakshaya Vishnu, there are so many Andas that are there. And you can see that he is breathing from his body, right? The surface of his skin. All these Andas are coming. Can you see this picture?
Yes, Prabhu.
This is called Karnodakshaya Vishnu. Now, each of this Karnodakshaya Vishnu, when he produces a ball, which is called as an Anda. Anda means shape of an egg, elliptical in shape. Okay. This Anda will contain what is called as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So let's see, we will type Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Okay, so this is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. I want to see the picture of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
Prabhu, I have the pictures. You want me to share?
You have Garbhodakshaya.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, I'm hearing you. I'm just seeing if I'm there. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu picture. Okay.
Yeah, it went on the top, probably. Garbhodakshaya Vishnu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, each Anda is Brahmanda, Prabhu.
Yeah, each Anda is one Brahmanda. Okay. So now, so now you can see this is approximately, this is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, just for your understanding. Okay, how do you understand Garbhodakshaya Vishnu? So within one Anda, right? So Garbhodakshaya Vishnu in an Anda.
Both same, no?
Prabhu, I have the picture, Prabhu.
Oh,
Fully.
that
I
I
can,
know
step by step, I can share.
I want the globe picture.
Yes, it's there. I can show you, Prabhu.
Okay, share
Give me the screen.
the screen.
So this is Karnodakshaya Vishnu. What have you explained?
No, this Garbhodakshaya, show me the globe picture.
Yeah.
Okay, this is, can you go down?
That's all.
Okay, go up. Okay, so in this picture, you see, this is also not properly representing what I want to show you, but something. Okay. Now you see, there's a globe, no? This round is a globe. That is the earth, right? Like earth, like that globe, it is round. So now the solar system, right? Which is solar system? All the way from Brahmaloka, all the way to Pitraloka is one solar system. Okay. This solar system is a globe. This entire one solar system, one Anda, right? You saw the Anda, no? Coming out of Karnodakshaya Vishnu. That is this Anda.
Yes.
Okay. Now this Anda is filled with half water. Half the globe is filled with water. Okay. On that water, this Vishnu, who is floating here, he's actually lying on the bed of Anantashesh. He's lying down here, and Mahalakshmi is serving him. Now, what this person is doing, from his navel, from his stomach, one line is coming. See, that line is opening into a Padakam. This is a stem of a lotus. So that lotus opening and Brahmaji is created. That means one Anda has one Brahmaji and one Vishnu. That Vishnu is called Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Now, why it's called Garbha? Garbha means what? So, for example, when you say a lady is Garbha, means she's carrying a child, correct? So, like that, this Vishnu navel, that means his stomach, all of us who are born in this material world, we were living in that Vishnu stomach. Okay. So, what Vishnu did? He created Brahmaji. And Brahmaji, through meditative process and empowerment of this Vishnu, he released all these Jivatma from the stomach of this Vishnu into this material Anda planet, according to one's karma. Okay, some got released in upper planetary system, like Brahmaloka, Mahaloka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, Indraloka, like that they got released. Some of the Jivatmas, they got released in earthly planets, which are called Martya Lokas. Okay. Boor, right? Then below are called Patal Lokas in general. Tala, 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 Vitala, Rasatala, Sutala. So like that, these are called Patala planets, right? So these 14 planetary system, Brahmaji releases these Jivatmas and say, okay, according to karma, I'll put you into Rasatala, I'll give you one body, you'll be born to this parent, you live. Okay. Then he takes another Jivatma and say, hey, according to your karma, I'll put you into upper planetary system in Janaloka. You live there, this is your parentage. Like that, Brahmaji, what does he do? He takes all the Jivatmas from the Garbha, stomach of that Garbha Dakshaya Vishnu, and releases them into this 14 planetary system in this planet Earth. I'm sorry, planet in this Anda, this solar system. Okay. So we got landed on Earth. Some people got landed in Pitraloka. Some people got landed in Indraloka. Like that. So that's what Brahmaji does. Now, by releasing these Jivatmas, according to the karmic reactions and activities, they got their bodies into these planets. Brahmaji is giving each of them an opportunity to realize Vishnu and get mukti. So that's the role of Garbhadaksha Vishnu. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
One doubt.
Yeah.
So, each living entity are placed in different planetary systems. It is according to their karma.
Karma, yes, according to the karma. Okay, so that's why Krishna says in the Gita, karma is so complicated, don't try to understand it too much, it's impossible for you to understand. But you understand the basics, that's all. Otherwise, karma is a very deep subject, cannot be explained, and why, what, not, etc. So many deviations are there in karma. Okay.
But Lord Brahma gets this knowledge through
Vishnu, yes. So that we will see in the second canto, how Brahmaji is getting the knowledge in the process of creation, how Krishna is teaching everything to Brahmaji. Okay. Now, after creating, right, we heard, no, Krishna is Sarva Karana Karanam. So what this Garbhodaksha Vishnu does, can you go to the next slide? We'll see if Shirodaksha is there. Okay, stop there. No, go up, stop here. Okay. Now, you see, this 400 form of Lord, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, you see. Okay. These are called as the same size. The size of Jiva is what? If you take the hair tip and cut into 10,000 parts, that's the size of the soul. So same size is the soul of the super soul also. Now what this Garbhodaksha Vishnu does, he expands into Shirodakshaya Vishnu, or the small entities called Paramatma. As the soul enters each of these living entities, he also enters as Paramatma into each of these living entities. And that is called Shirodakshaya Vishnu. Okay, so these are the 3 levels. And that Shirodakshaya Vishnu, you call it as Super Soul, you call it as Paramatma, who lives in your heart. That means it is not just the soul when it enters the body gets activated. No, the Paramatma has to enter. Right? Now you can see how Paramatma is going to be around with us all the time as witness to all our activities and a constant guide for us in telling us, how do I cross this material world? Okay. Now, what is our problem? Now you can ask a question. Then, Prabhu, why I'm not crossing this material world? If his Paramatma is there with me in my heart. The problem is we are not asking him the right questions and we are not realizing or hearing his answers. That is the problem we have. And hence we are not seeing him. So this process of devotion, this process of meditation will make you hear from that Paramatma. What will Paramatma guide you? Paramatma is called a guru who's sitting in your heart. Okay. Paramatma is called Chaitya Guru. Now what does Paramatma do? Hey, this is material creation. What do you want to do here? You are a servant of Lord, you're part and parcel of Lord. Don't be in this material world, this is full of danger. Go back home and I will show you the path. So Paramatma brings that soul back to Krishna. He is always with us. as a guide. When we practice devotion, when we practice chanting, when we practice this meditative process, we will be able to hear the calls of Paramatma. We will change our consciousness, walk towards it. If we are completely in ignorance and passion, completely caught by material elements, we cannot see the call of the Paramatma. So this is what you have to understand. Okay, so let's summarize. Purusha avatars are three. Karanodakshaya Vishnu, who is the cause of this material world, the casual ocean. Second, this Karanodakshaya Vishnu breathes. When he breathes, from his skin pores, many rounds or andas gets produced, and that is one andas called solar system. Solar system will contain one sun and many planets. The top of the planet is Brahmaloka, the bottom of the planet is Yamaloka, where Yamaraja is residing. And that is also next to that is the Pitraloka, where our dead forefathers have reached, who did not practice devotion. So, by worshipping your forefather who did not practice devotion, you will also reach into the Pitraloka, which is very dangerous. So, do not worship your Pitrus. Worship Vaishnavites. They will take you back home, back to Godhead. If your Pitrus are Vaishnavites, yes, worship them. If your Pitrus are not Vaishnavites, don't worship them. Okay, so this is the 14th planetary system. That is Garbha ocean, and that is Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. Then after the Brahmaji takes all the Jivatmas and creates the Jivatmas into these various planets and puts them, okay, you find and discover your life, self-discovery, then what does Vishnu do? He becomes Paramatma and he enters into every living entity that is created. That is called Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. So, the answer to question number 4, the Purusha avatars of the Lord, is now explained when this question was asked. Okay, so we'll do one last sloka. Probably I'll just share now. We'll do one last sloka, which is.
So if we are in the mode of passion and ignorance, we will not be able to realize the.
Yes. The question is, if we are in mode of passion and ignorance, can I realize Paramatma? No, you cannot. Unless you're in mode of goodness, you cannot realize them. Life will go on. You will end this human life also. Again, you will take birth. That is the problem. Okay. Last sloka for the day. 2.34. Bhavayati yesha shatvena lokan vailoka bhavanaha Leelavataronoto rato devatriyan naradishu. So here, question number 3 is answered. What is question number 3?
Leelavatar. No?
No. You are missing. How can you miss the question? What's question 3?
For what purpose did Lord Krishna appear?
Yes,
Here, the womb of
So Deva and
Devaki.
Devaki. That's question 3. Question 4 is Purusha avatars. Question 5 is Leela avatars.
Okay.
Okay, so question 3 is why did he? Okay, now that is the sloka which is answering. So we answered question 1 and 2 over. Question 4 we answered. Now question 3 we are answering in 2.34. Okay, translation. Thus the Lord of the universes maintains all the planets inhabited by the demigods, men and lower animals. That means Krishna is the maintainer of all of them. Assuming the role of incarnations, who Krishna, he performs pastime to reclaim those in the mode of pure goodness. That means what? Krishna descends. He performs leelas and collects all those people who are in Shuddha Shatvikam and takes them back home, back to Godhead. So, he personally comes, whoever is in mode of super goodness, pure goodness, he takes them home. So, when Krishna comes, if you are in passion, he will say, no, you're not ready, you stay back here. If you're in ignorance, no, you're not ready, you stay back here. If you're in goodness, Krishna says, okay, you need more time, but I will come back. And if you're in pure goodness, he says, ready, come back with me. Okay, that is the key. So I'll just read this highlights. The Lord Vishnu incarnates himself in each every one of them and in each and every type of living society. That means Krishna keeps coming down as incarnation. He manifests his transcendental pastimes. He performs his Leela. just to create the desire. Wow, it is so wonderful. Let's all go back home with Krishna. Right? That means now you're going to Vaikuntha Loka out of your desire to be with Krishna, out of your love for Krishna. And that's why he comes in his original transcendental form and performs his Leela. The Lord therefore comes to propagate the message of kingdom of Godhead, either personally or as incarnation through his bona fide representatives as good as Son of God. So like that, for example, when Jesus Christ came, when Mahajanas came, when Buddha came, and great Acharyas came, they also came to propound that same message of Godhead. So Krishna also came, all these great personalities also came, they gave this one message of kingdom of God. So they're telling us to return back home, back to Godhead. Okay? So the purpose of Krishna being born to Vasudeva and Devaki is to perform these amorous leelas, thereby attracting all the living entities who are in mode of pure goodness and take them back home, and also create desire in the hearts of others that they also come to platform pure goodness, they can return back home, back to Godhead. That is the purpose. So question 3 is also answered in this second chapter. Okay, are we good?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Prabhu, I have one question, Prabhu.
So in the sleep, one second, Prabhu. In the sleep,
Okay.
also if someone asks you, you should be able to clearly answer all these 3-4 questions and what does it mean to you and how do you answer them. Okay? Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Now we'll take up questions.
Prabhu, then it means that all the Brahmandas have different sons, Prabhu.
Different sons meaning you're saying that
Sons.
per son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
One son, yeah. The
One
size
son
of the
for
sun
each
varies.
Brahmanda.
Yes. The size of the sun will vary according to the Brahmanda size. Some of the Brahmandas are very big. For example, even in science also it says some stars are super size, some stars are small in nature. Our NASA space scientists also say that, no? So same way, each andas are also big. When the andas are also big, the size of the sun also increases in order to serve them accordingly.
Okay, Prabhu. Then the second question is, my parents were not Vaishnavites. And so regularly we are not worshipping, but at least in Pitru Masa, should I not worship?
Pitru Masa, you're not worshipping them. You're worshipping Vishnu.
Yeah.
You're worshipping Vishnu and requesting or begging Vishnu to award your Pitrus a good life of devotion in the next birth. That's what you're worshipping Krishna. You're not worshipping the Pitrus.
Karmas we are doing now, Prabhu.
Those karmas, Nitya karma it is called, those karmas are being done in order to help them to come to the path of devotion.
Yes, Prabhu.
You are not doing anything else.
Okay, Prabhu.
So, that Pindadana that you do,
Yeah, yes, Prabhu.
Shraddha ceremony that you perform, is a ceremony that is done to request Vishnu. Oh, my dear Lord Vishnu, my Pitrus, who are one of the causes, secondary causes of my birth in this material world, somehow, due to various reasons or situations, they could not perform devotion. So now, as their son, as a representative, I am begging you, please give them one more chance so that they can be born in a family of Vaishnavas and they can practice devotion onto you and make a meaningfulness of their life. Please give them a chance. And that is a prayer you're offering to Vishnu. And based on your prayer, Vishnu will give them another suitable body for them to practice devotion. That is why you're doing Pindadana ceremony. That's why you're doing Shraddha ceremony.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Thank you. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
In goodness or in pure goodness, Prabhu?
What goodness, pure goodness means?
That mode of goodness or in it's mentioned here, no, Prabhu? Pure goodness.
Yeah. So goodness is also material quality. Pure goodness is devotional quality. How? In goodness means you may say, I want to be a truthful person. I want to be very helpful. I want to be philanthropic. That's called mode of goodness. but there is no factor of Krishna in it, right? So you should come to the platform of Vaishnava and serve the other Vaishnavas. When you serve the other Vaishnavas, you get the mercy of devotion into your heart. When you get that mercy of devotion in this heart, you develop Vaishnava qualities, Vaishnava etiquette. You develop all those wonderful qualities and serve the Lord with a lot of love. That is called Shuddha Sattvikam.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I have a question, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu, only the realized souls follow the religious principles given by the Lord in Vedas, and they live as Nitya Baddha even in this material world. So they go back to the Lord. But I am also working hard following the Mahajans, Prabhu, but still I'm not Nitya Baddha. I'm actually trying to not flatter myself, Prabhu, but I'm trying to ask a question which could come in the future of mine. That's all. So still I'm not a Nitya Baddha, no, Prabhu, even though I have performed outstanding results. So then in what position I am standing, Prabhu?
Okay. Now here, Bhagavatam is trying to tell you that you're not performing devotion so that, I'll go back home, I'll get liberated from these difficulties. I don't want to be anymore, confined to this body, birth, death, old age, and disease. I don't want that. So if you're doing that consciousness is not a good consciousness. Yeah. Because you're self-centered in your liberation, in your mukti process. Why? It's all about me. Now, Mahajanas, what they did, they performed devotion, keeping Krishna as the center. That means they said, I will do all activities to please that Supreme Lord.
Okay, Prabhu.
And that was pure devotion. In that pure devotion, I don't care whether I am going to be here in this world to continue to perform devotion to my Lord, or I go to the spiritual planets. I don't care.
Okay.
That is pure devotion. So in that pure devotion, what happens? You are not self-centered. You are Krishna-centered.
Okay, Prabhu.
That's the meaning of that statement.
Thank you, Prabhu. Now, Prabhu, how about the Iha Devatas? Are they not interested to go back to Goloka Vrindavan, Prabhu? Because they have been given particular job and they are passionate about getting it done also. So will they go back to Goloka Vrindavana?
So it depends on their consciousness. So for example, a devotee, okay, who's chanting, following 4 regulative principles, but he has controlling nature. He wants to control everything around him. He wants to control all those things, even though he's practicing devotion, bhakti yoga, but he's having Mishra bhakti. Why? He wants to control. Okay. So because he has controlling nature, what Krishna said, okay, you can enjoy the controlling nature for some time, then you can come back to me.
Okay.
So what small you're controlling? What you're controlling 5 people, 10 people at office. You control thousands of people, lakhs of people, crores of people. You control the entire wind. I'll give you that position. Why? You demonstrated devotion to me.
Okay.
So he may be born as Vayu Bhagavan in the next Manvantara cycle.
Okay.
And what he will do? He'll control the entire wind in the entire creation. See, he'll get that satisfaction of controlling. But if he doesn't practice Bhagavatam there, in that position also, he is still not purified to go back home, back to God.
Okay.
So devotion plus controlling nature, devotion plus, this nature will lead to demigod worship, becoming demigods, not devotees.
Okay, Prabhu. So we need to be very pure in this.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, Prabhu. I heard in one of the lectures of yours, that is the reason why even demigods would want to take birth in this earth, so that in the form of human,
Yes.
he can reach.
So that's why Krishna, what does he do? He performs his Leela on this earthly planet. Now, when he performs earthly planets, all these Iha Devatas from various planets, they descend to see that. When they see that, even though they have that controlling nature, they develop that attraction for the Lord, his bodily features or whatever it may be. They get attraction and they let go. They understand the insignificance. They let go their controlling nature. So they descend out of their pure devotion to the Lord.
Prabhu, pure goodness is devotional service, Prabhu.
No, goodness mixed with love for Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay.
Prabhu, are we not Nitya Baddhas, Prabhu? We are not Nitya Siddhas, but are we not Nitya Baddhas in the process?
Are we or are they? What is this thing?
Are we, Prabhu?
See, why we are called Nitya Baddhas? Okay, Baddha means what?
Baddha is conditioned, Prabhu.
Condition.
Correct. Captured, Baddha. Okay. Slavery, something like that you can say. Okay, Nitya means eternal. So, eternally we are captured in this place. So, Nitya and Baddha. Okay, now what is, why we are called Nitya Baddha? Because Bhagavatam says, there is no record or documentation or evidence of proof how long we are in this material world. We'll hear such a long time that we have forgotten the fact when we actually came here. So it looks like, hey, you're always in this material world, you're Nitya Baddha. So Nitya Baddha is a referential term that you understand it with respect to time. Okay, so Mataji will take like this. Let's say you had a child. The child grew with you for about 5-6 years. And then he went off to America. Okay. 70-80 years later, when the child, when you talk about the child, you'll say, hey, he was always in America. I don't know, there was never a time that he was in India. Why? Because so many years that he lived in America that you don't even remember that he lived for the first 5 years in India. So in that referential terminology, he becomes Nitya Baddha. So now that is a very dangerous call for us. Okay? Hey, time immemorial, I am not realizing Krishna. I am not practicing religiosity. I'm only practicing Kaitava Dharma. Hence I'm here. So let us realize that and say, okay, no more practice and desires for material life. And will perfect us. So that's the realization that should happen. Helps, Mataji?
Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada is Nitya Siddha, no Prabhu?
Nitya Siddha means we are fallen down because of our desire to control, to enjoy in separation of Krishna. But Srila Prabhupada did not fall down. He descended. That means Krishna asked him, hey, can you go and preach these living entities who are struggling in this world? Tell them the truth. Preach and come back. Prabhupada said, okay, as you order, I will do that service for you. So Prabhupada descended from the Vaikuntha planets and he gave all these knowledge to us and he went back. Not just Srila Prabhupada. For example, you take Ramanuja. Many acharyas, Madhvacharya, right? So many of these people, they came because the Lord told them, do the service for me. They came, did the service, went back home.
So they are all Nitya Siddhas, no Prabhu?
They're Nitya Siddhas, yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
That means only those who are liberated souls, they are Nitya Siddhas, Prabhu?
Yes.
But in this world, those who are in devotional service?
So, for example, Prabhupada, one day our Guru Maharaj asked Prabhupada, no. Prabhupada told our Guru Maharaj that you are an eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya. Okay. So that means, if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are many close associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? So one of them, they said, okay, I'll come back again to help the people. So he could be one of them. That is why you see, whatever happens to him is unstoppable in his devotion. Like Kali and Maya are struggling, what to do with this person? Whatever I do is not stopping his devotion. And he's giving his mercy. Right? So you can see the difference between us and him. We may think, why can't I be like Guru Maharaj? You can never be. It's very difficult. Right? So that's the difference you have to understand.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, so we'll end the class. Now, in the next chapter, we will be reading what is called as Krishna is the source of all incarnation, which is answering question number 5, which is the Leela avatars of Lord. That means we'll understand all the Leela avatars of the Lord. About 25, 26 is there, which concludes, including the plenary expansion, portion of the plenary expansion, all those things we will understand completely. Okay, that answers question 5. And what is question 6?
Where did Dharma settled, Prabhu?
Dharma took shelter of.
Shelter, yes.
Okay, it took shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, which propounds the highest aspect of religiosity, Dharma took shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, is the conclusion that we'll read in chapter 3. So, chapter 3 will answer question 5 and question 6. Okay, now, chapter 4 onwards, what we will learn? Okay, so if Srimad Bhagavatam is the shelter for us, then we want to know every detail, how Srimad Bhagavatam came into existence, who wrote, and how did he write, where did he get the knowledge, how did knowledge got descended, what are the pastimes connected with it, all those things that we will learn in chapter 4 and 5. Okay, clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
That is why we will learn life of Narada Muni, life of Vyasadeva. How did he write? Why did this literature came to this format? All those things we'll learn in chapter 4 and 5. So that is how you go step by step in Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. Okay, so we'll stop here. We've exceeded a little bit more time than usual. I'm sorry for that, but I had to complete this at this level. Okay. Please recite the sloka. So today, one sloka we told you, Vasudeva Param.
Parayo.
Right? So
Two
please,
slokas, Prabhu.
no, only one, ma.
That they are joint slokas.
Joint slokas. Yeah. Okay, correct. So 2 slokas for today. Please mark that up. And that's a very, very beautiful sloka. Right? Please mark that up. And we also concluded up to question 4. Please read the purports today itself so that you understand this material creation that you have to understand very, very thoroughly. Please read the purports very detailedly. Once you're clear in your heart, then nothing can shake you. Then you'll understand, oh, that is Purusha Avatar, this is Leela Avatar, and what does Krishna do in Leela Avatar, what does Krishna do in Purusha Avatar, you'll understand all of that. Okay? Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Jai.
ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande,
Hari Hari Bo.
Kalpatarupyascha Kripa
Sindhubhyo
Sindhubhyo Pavanebhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Ki jai.
Vaishnava Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Tat Sat.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Hari
Krishna.
Hari.
Hare Krishna, Dandavata Pranam, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Okay, we'll end.